Zdarsky. So thank you, thank you.
Держим колко.
I checked.
This is the first iteration of Bold Machina. We are putting NATO soft divers in the water against evolving emerging technology to evaluate our signature management, but also to test and validate the technology that is going to be in place that contributes to the protection of critical underseas infrastructure. So for maritime Special Operation Forces, it's important for us to be on this evolutionary journey with technology, because as the technology evolves, our assumption is that it will proliferate, changing the virtual transparency of the water column. So whereas in the past, we've always assumed that our last our last location of cover and concealment could be that water column. In the future, we want to be able to clearly articulate the risk to conducting a mission where the sea is filled with sensors and robots that will be able to identify and classify us. Conversely, we also want to help improve and validate the technology that is going to be employed to improve our maritime domain awareness from the seafloor to space, while at the same time protecting the critical underseas infrastructure that our nations rely on. I think the nations that are participating, they get a keener understanding of how technology is emerging, and it'll change our operating environment. So the tangible benefit that they get is through NATO, we're able to organize this event, bring industry together, bring the technical expertise that the NATO Center for Maritime Research and Experimentation that is inherent to that organization, the scientists and engineers. We can bring them all together in a single space and do collaborative design of an experiment and be able to analyze the results and then deliver those back to the NATO Maritime Special Operations Forces. In regards to conflict, it's some of it is what's going on inside the Ukrainian theater of conflict, but also just as important is what's going on outside of it, and related to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. We had the Baltic Connector and the Nord Stream pipeline, the Baltic Connector pipeline that were one was blown up and one was destroyed by an anchor. It exposed vulnerabilities that our nations have, especially the ones that rely on global trade over the sea. So that political relevance to that problem set has directed attention to the NATO organization and our nations to develop a response and to develop an understanding of that response, and that's the role that SOF is helping to play, is to help validate and improve that technology that's gonna support finding those answers.
The orientation underwater is a really complicated process, and you gotta be a very disciplined soldier and mentally stable.
Great.
It's not for everyone. All the small compartments in the submarine, for example, or ship platforms, it's not for everybody. That's some of the things that make us unique. We can be on the ships, we can be on the submarines, on the planes, helicopters, of course, in the land, forest. So we gotta be good in all these areas, especially water. Well, being underwater is you really gotta be concentrated, think about the job and nothing else. You are thinking about the guy with you, your buddy, your partner, which is a critical part. You always rely on each other. So it's really important to know the person, to know the gear, to know the job, the task, and all the risks that with the diving.
On the seafloor, there are kilometers of pipes and tubes that are exposed to any kind of threat. And I don't think we need to remind the samples in the recent samples in the Baltic raise an immediate issue. But we realize that that's an issue, how important they are and how fragile, how exposed to any kind of possible threat. The underwater domain is hard both to protect and hard to attack, but there are technologies to operate, of course, and so and it's not easy to protect because it's a complex environment, it's a vast environment.